We got the unfortunate news on New Year's Day that Spencer Lee will not be competing the remainder of the 2022 season. As speculated, he did not get ACL surgery in the offseason, and he was simply rehabbing his injuries to get ready for hopefully the second half of the year. Unfortunately, the injury must not have recovered as expected, and he is getting surgery which will put him out the remainder of the season. This is clearly a major blow for Iowa, but what other implications does this have, especially on the team race, Iowa's lineup, and Spencer Lee's career? Well, let's talk about it. Before we talk about this massive breaking news story, hey everyone, my name is Tanner, and this is TrueTan Wrestling. I primarily do duel and tournament recaps, breaking news stories like this video, and college retrospectives from time to time. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please hit that like and subscribe button for more content in the future. I also make exclusive content on Patreon like podcasts and in-depth articles about relevant D1 wrestling topics, and that link is in the description below. Finally, leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Now, let's talk about Spencer Lee's unfortunate season-ending surgery. For starters, I believe this was a Spencer Lee decision, along with the Brands brothers giving their input on the matter. I think Spencer Lee is one of the toughest, if not the toughest college wrestlers currently. I think that statement goes without saying considering he is a 3-time national champ already and won the last NCAA tournament with no ACLs. You gotta be pretty tough to do that. We all wanted to see him more this year, of course, but that just wasn't in the cards for us wrestling fans. We got a small sample size of him at collegiate duels, so some is better than none. To give a little backstory on his injuries, I'm pretty sure he tore his first ACL against Jack Mueller all the way back during his second title campaign. He also tore ACL during his senior year of high school, but he got surgery on that leg and was able to come out of redshirt actually for the Hawkeyes to win his first national title in a very loaded field. He did not get surgery on his second tear after the Jack Mueller match, and he was able to rehab it back to full health, and you could definitely tell he was healthy because he looked unbeatable his junior campaign. However, that was the season that the national tournament got canceled, so we were unable to see Spencer get his third title that year. Then apparently he tore his second ACL during the Big Ten tournament during the 2021 season, and I think more specifically it was during the finals against Schroeder of Purdue. This goes without saying, this is horrible timing considering Nationals is only about a week and a half to 2 weeks away after conference week. However, we all know what Spencer Lee did with his available skills with no ACLs. He simply won a national title, which I think goes without saying is a very incredible feat. This also led to the iconic phrase that excuses are for wusses that Spencer Lee said on national TV through an ESPN broadcast for the whole world to hear. However, the main question surrounding Spencer Lee after the 2021 national tournament was how exactly could someone win a national title with no ACLs, considering winning a normal national title 100% healthy is hard the way it is. Regardless, he did it, and then the next question was, would he get surgery in the offseason? From what I heard, getting surgery would put him out for the entire 2022 season, and I am not a doctor, but that is just what I heard. I'm assuming that is true since he did not get surgery this offseason and tried to come back in the second half of the year to win his 4th title for Iowa and maybe another team title. However, I'm guessing his ACLs are worse than everyone thought, and we have to think about his long-term health and the future of his career. He also stated that his second injury did not respond the same way his first tear did, the one after the Jack Mueller match, which really stinks to hear for Spencer Lee. One good thing to calm down Hawkeye fans is that Spencer Lee will definitely get a medical redshirt for this season, since he wrestled before the cutoff date and only wrestled 3 matches, so Spencer Lee will for sure be able to qualify for a redshirt, and he will be able to come back to win his 4th title in the 2023 season. I just hope he comes back healthy, and this surgery and physical therapy keep him healthy for the rest of his college and USA freestyle career. Spencer Lee is an incredible wrestler that has quite the hit list, so wrestling fans need to see him win his 4th title that he definitely deserves, and for him to compete at senior world level events. We did see him at the Senior USA Open in 2020, where he cruised through a bracket of freestyle veterans. I find that accomplishment super impressive considering he was primarily trained folk style during his college season, and he still dominated everyone. But back to college wrestling. So what exactly does this mean for Iowa? Well, it is 20 points, not including bonus points, that they will be missing. I think Ybarra is an alright option for them and could be a qualifier and score a few points for the Hawkeyes. He is just very young right now, and we won't really know his true pecking order until we see him against some really good Big Ten opponents, even though I know he took his lumps early on in the year, so he does not seem super productive just yet, but he has a high ceiling, and like I said, he's very young. There is also Drake Ayala, who is a true freshman in redshirt that is looking really promising this year, competing in several opens, and he looked super solid at the Southern Scuffle. I originally couldn't see them holding another red shirt, since this news might take them out of the team title race regardless, so they might just stick with Ybarra and keep Drake Ayala's red shirt, considering they already blew a year of eligibility for Ybarra. However, if they blow Ayala's red shirt now, he could still use it next year when Spencer Lee is back. It stinks for Ybarra, but Ayala seems like an All-American threat already, so it could help Iowa in the trophy hunt big time. I think Iowa still has 7 to maybe 8 All-American level wrestlers, and I'm very confident in that answer if Kemmer returns. But if he does not return, then Iowa is really hurting, and Michigan and Penn State are going to be sprinting to the team title conversation. Of course, during Iowa's NC State duel in Florida, they did not look like a national championship team, in my opinion, but teams have down performances, and we are relatively far from March still. So I'll chalk this up to matchups and being a weird duel, but still a super fun duel, so I would go check it out if you haven't already. However, if Iowa continues to perform like this, it is not going to be good for them entering the 2022 national tournament. Talking team title talk real quick, this news obviously hurts Iowa and takes them out of the running slightly, but not completely. However, this news really hurts Michigan way more than Penn State, I think. With Iowa's lineup looking more and more vulnerable as the weeks go on, there is less threats to the Penn State big guns, and those big guns are the wrestlers Michigan needs to underperform. For example, if Kemmer does not return, that takes away Staraki's main threat. But for Iowa and Kemmer's sake, I hope he returns for his final season 100% healthy, because Kemmer is a fun wrestler to watch. But this video is about Spencer Lee, and nothing is official about Kemmer just yet. However, Suriano could possibly score 4 extra points, a little easier with no Spencer Lee in his way. So depending on how you look at it, there's pros and cons for the Wolverines and the Nittany Lions. However, Suriano will still have Vito Arujau Cornell, who is looking super impressive and beat Suriano in freestyle before. There's also Patrick Glory, who's an EIWA champ, who beat Vito a couple years ago, so Patrick Glory of Princeton should not be overlooked either. Those 3 will probably be the front runners for the 125 title, but that weight class always has under the radar studs, and there are several returning All-Americans that will be chasing the title after this huge news. This news creates some fun speculation, but this goes without saying that this is super unfortunate news too. I hope Spencer Lee comes back and returns to his peak level wrestling talents once again in 2023. I'm super sad for Lee, but this is just one hiccup in his amazing career, and he will still have the opportunity to come back next year. This really stinks for Iowa too, but they have productive options, but of course, it is really hard to replace a Spencer Lee. Iowa won't have the same lineup next year, but they aren't losing much for the 2023 season. They will have to replace DeSano at 133, but they have a very productive striver in redshirt that should develop this offseason even more and be ready to go. Ironman will also be gone at 141, but Wyatt Henson seems like a great 2023 fill-in with his impressive redshirt season so far. There is also 157 and 165 seniors, Caleb Young at 157 and Alex Marinelli at 165. Not 100% sure who will fill in the 157 spot, but Patrick Kennedy at 165 looks like he could maybe All-American this year, so he is clearly a nice fill-in for Marinelli next season. Finally, there is 174-pounder and 7th-year senior Michael Kemmer, who will be a huge hole to fill for the Hawkeyes, considering he's a 3-time All-American and a 1-time finalist. He's not wrestled much this year, but he is still a very productive member for the Hawkeye lineup, but it appears that Nelson Brands has been filling in the spot in his absence. Nelson Brands will also be a great option for them next year at this 174-pound spot. The Hawkeyes also have a very impressive recruiting class coming in, so they will have hungry young freshmen who are top of their class looking to compete for these spots as well to keep the Hawkeye lineup very competitive. I bring all these points up because Spencer Lee will need a supporting cast to really push for a team trophy again in 2023, and I'm just saying it's not too far off because they'll still have a great team, like always. Well everyone, I wanted to get this breaking news update video out to everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the video, even though it was on some not so positive topics. It stinks we are losing this stud for the rest of the season, but we will see him back better than ever in the 2022-2023 season, and the 125 landscape will still be very exciting, so don't worry about that. Please let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Do you think they will pull Yala's red shirt or stick with Ybarra? Do you think Kemmer will come back soon for the Hawkeyes? Just let me know in the comment section below. You know the drill. Also, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button for more content in the future, and be sure to hit that like button too while you're down there. With all that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.